Welcome back to USF 2000 AI League Season 4. We are here at race 11 of 25 here at Road America. Qualifying currently underway. Very fast but technical track. There's a lot of good passing opportunities. Here's one of them right down here. That is turn 5. Even though it should be more accurately called turn 3 or 4, not 5. But I don't make the rules. Currently the 50 farthest car out on track as of now. Our second largest track, the series. Right, a little bit smaller than Spa, which will be coming up later in the season. Currently coming down to Canada Corner. Down here, turn 12. So now he is coming around the final couple turns, getting ready to start his lap. And we're already 4 minutes through qualifying. Through the final turn and up the big uphill straightaway. And then he will begin his lap. So we're going to be watching to see how that goes. We got some cars, got a little bit of traffic here, but I think the 60 should separate themselves from the 17 soon. They already are starting to get ahead. OxyClean gonna be stuck behind Chad Broski here. Not ideal. John Panini has started his first lap up to pace. I don't know if he had to get around the 46, but that would definitely slow him down. But it seems like the 2 is slower than him. That second sector wasn't as good. Locked it up a little bit. He goes a little wide, but it's nothing major. But now Spring Roll right behind is starting to get on a good lap. Two just out of frame. But John Panini's gonna have some traffic coming up soon. That is the 83 of Gus Fring right in front of him. So if he wants to qualify well, he's gonna have to try and maneuver around that. So now John Panini got 2 pink sectors, but he is the first to go through the 4th one. So far the only until Spring Roll just at a time. So it seems like John Panini's actually going to get a good lap. And then he's going to get a draft from the 83 going up the straightaway. So just over 2-minute lap times here. Spring Roll 3 temps off. So far time to beat 2-minute 14.001 set by John Panini. We're going to have to see if anyone can beat that. Espinel is going to go up, but it's not fast enough. We are already 7 minutes through. And now Sussus Amogus goes first with a 2:13.8, but Spencer Alfredo just beats it 2-minute 12.998, just under 2-minute 13. Nava 77's in a good spot. Karishima gets close, but it's not good enough. The 84 of Chad Broski's on a good lap, though. The 87 is as well. Phil Slow now goes first, beats out his teammate. What's the 84 gonna do? It's gonna be close. A 2:11.8. That is very much better. The 87 slots in just behind. Beijing Beef shoots up to 4th, as it seems like Gus Fring has gone off track, and he probably will not get a lap time because of that. Yeah, he will not be able to set a lap time. There's too little time left. Heck, if you come around now, you probably won't get another lap. As points leader, Spring Roll has a pink, but also has a yellow. Where's it gonna be? It seems fast. Let's see, he will go to the top by 8 tenths. Absolutely crushed that lap time. But the 32 is also on the pink, but is getting held up by the 18. But now will be able to get some help in a draft. You'll only be able to go around one more time. You'll get one more lap. David Bialos shoots up to 3rd. As Sussus Amogus can only go 4th, not anything better. As Spencer Alfredo shoots up to 2nd, but is not good enough. Not really been the best season for that 77. Hopefully he can turn it around today. Gus Fring just came out of the pits, but he will definitely not get another lap. That's definitely going to harm his chance at this championship. As checkered flag is out, everyone's going to be finishing their laps. As the 07 is on a good one. A nice draft, and he'll go first, just beating the car in front of him. That's Eliza Doe, up by 2 tenths. Phil Slow has definitely been the best car at qualifying this season, but he's only been able to convert it to one race win as Chris goes 3rd. Just beats a championship rival as the 14 of the Sun has 2 yellows, a pink, and then 2 greens. Hasn't really had the best season, but where's this gonna go? It doesn't look like it's going to be pole, but it does look like it will be an improvement for that team. 213.5, it only gets him up to 22nd. Max Cold goes up to 7th. Spring Roll's got to do good here. Saul Goodman goes 6th. Here we go, up the hill. And it's got to try and beat his championship rival, but it does not look like it. It won't even be an improvement. It's pretty close up at the top of the championship. We definitely still have some cars going around here. Qualifying not done just yet. Seems like nobody is really setting improvement laps. But I think it's safe to say Phil Slow will be back on pole once again. As Phil Slow does get on pole, let's show you your starting lineup for this race. Phil Slow gets pulled by about 3/10 over Eliza Doe. There in second, it's an All-American front row for the American Grand Prix. Then in row 2 is Chris and Spring Roll. And in row 3 is OxyClean and Saul Goodman. Row 4, Beijing Beef and Max Cold. And in row 5 is Spencer Alfredo and Chad Broski. Row 6 is Maborowski and David Bialois. And then we go back to row 7. Row 7. Sussa Samogus and Wine Silly Man. And then row 8, Rajiro Espinel and Tetsu. And then row 9 is Karishima and Missing Sock. And then row 10 is Diogo Sebastião and the Father. Row 11 is Jacques Croissant and the Sun. And then row 12 is John Panini and Mahavir Raghunathan. And then with no time, Gus Fring will be in last place. So your championship standings coming into this race, a lot of it at the top 7 all stay in the same spots. Spring Roll, Chris, it's going to be a pretty close up there, but Beijing Beef is only 8 points behind the 0. Then you have Gus Fring, who's going to be starting in dead last today. Tetsu, Max Cold, Phil Slow, Karishima, Saul Goodman, Diogo Sebastião, John Panini, Eliza Doe, Chad Broski, David Bialois, The Father, Wine Silly Man, May Borowski, Spencer Alfredo, Missing Sock, OxyClean, Sussas Amogus, Jacques Croissant, The Sun, Rogero Espinel, and Mahavir Raghunathan. And then your championship standings for the teams. Spring Speed, obviously going to be in first, with their drivers being first and third in the championship. But the Silly Snorters only have one car, but that's in second, so it's really close up there. And then it's Los Polos Hermanos, the Flat Earthers, Team YouTube, BFL Racing, the Magenta Saucies, the Graveyard, Ruidam Sebastião Racing Foot, La Vitesse, the Laundry Boys, the Italian Mob, Team RAS, and Raghunathan Racing. Now let's show you your race info. 3.98 miles, basically 4 miles. It's a very nice day, 76 degrees. It is late afternoon, but it is pretty cloudy. 8 mile per hour wind speed, so nothing too extreme there. Out of the previous winners, only one of those teams' drivers have come back. That is Jack Daniels' team, and he has Saul Goodman starting in 6th, but Gus Fring gonna have a lot of work to do starting in 25th. So it's going to be a pretty rough race, especially if they can't finish in time and the sun sets before they can get around again. It's gonna be pretty dark out once they finish, so they're gonna have to hurry. But Phil Slow gonna try and get his second win of the season. Eliza Doe just trying to get there first. And then Spring Roll and Chris championship rivals starting right next to each other. But third in the championship is a little farther back, but it's only 7th place, so it shouldn't be too hard. But 4th place, all the way back in 26. It's not really good when you're gonna have to be behind Mahavir Raghunathan. John Panini, we saw him go out in qualifying early and he was in the lead, but he started all the way back in 23rd. Didn't really go too good for him. Now did it? It's gonna be one long pace lap around this track. With the engines start revving up, we're getting ready to go. From this camera angle, you can see all the pit boxes and all the drivers' teams. I don't know why, but I think that's pretty cool. And if you didn't know about pit boxes, the farther back uh, your pit box is, that's because you qualified further back in the field. So Phil Slow has the pit box closest to the start-finish line, or sorry, the exit of pit road. Let's do a quick onboard right here, just a little tour of the lap. Quick little ride around with Phil Slow. So it's a there's some very fast sections of the track. There's a good amount of medium speed turns and a lot of heavy braking turns. Right here is the famous carousel. A little bit of a risk to pass here, but it can be done. And then as soon as you exit the carousel, you have to get up to speed. And then you carry the speed down into the kink, which is a fast, flat out. And then you go down this curvy straight, the kettle bottoms. You hang on to your life as you go into the Canada corner. Kink is definitely probably the most dangerous turn at the track. Just a fast, flat out, send it into the turn. If you mess that one up, you're going into the wall pretty hard. As now we're at the back end of the course. 17 laps. There's a lot of miles. That's about 70, I believe. No, that's definitely more than 70. I don't know what I was thinking. As now they make the ascent uphill. Pace car pulls off. And it's green flag. Phil Slow gonna lead us down into turn 1. Eliza Doe already falls a little bit back. Gonna have to defend from Chris. 21 try and send it. We see all the cars. They're starting to fan out a little. Gonna see some moves. Chris to the inside of the 15, but it doesn't work. It may even lose a spot to spring roll, which is exactly what happens, which is not what the 0 wanted. The 15 all over the back of the 07. How will this play out? Eliza Doe already ahead. Perfectly drafted down the straightaway and into the lead. Phil Slow's had some trouble trying to keep the lead once he got it. And that's exactly what's happening now. And then Spring Roll gonna be chasing him. Eliza Doe has gone off track. And into the wall. Eliza Doe makes a mistake and is already out. Locked it up hard into the wall. Well, not really hard, but that's already gonna put an end to Eliza Doe's day. As Phil Slow has done that before, takes the lead on the first lap and then instantly throws it away. It's not the first time that's happened in this series, so... But Eliza Doe is definitely going to be thinking about that, as now the lead goes back to Phil Slow, sorry. Spring Roll's going to have to defend the zero very aggressively. Or defend from the zero. But a good final couple turns, and now he's going to get a good run up the straightaway. Phil Slow leads the first lap, so that is a bonus point for Phil Slow. Phil Slow's gonna block him, not gonna let him through. As now we go down through turn 2. A small little kink. And now through turns 3. Here we go. The 2 is already aside. How's this gonna go? Phil Slow gonna break way later. And the 60 sends it in. And a little bit of contact between the 60 and the 2. The 2 just barely ahead. Spring Roll fighting hard, and Beijing Beef is battling with Chris. Spring Roll stays ahead, but Beijing Beef just narrows ahead. And now Max Cold gonna try and take that spot. And same with OxyClean. Chris is getting absolutely hosed right now. It seems like OxyClean will pass around the carousel. As I said, it could be done. Chris goes from 3rd to 7th in a matter of a couple turns. As now another long straight, 3 long straights on this track. How will the 60 do? What will Saul Goodman do? What will Spring Roll do? 60 gonna look to the inside, but there's not enough room. They're gonna have to rethink that. Currently it's going pretty beautifully for Spring Roll, but it could be going a lot better. Just one spot off the best spot. It needs Chris to make a mistake, but not really that great of an exit. Gonna fall behind Phil Slow. And now Saul Goodman's gonna be chasing. Lap 3 of 17. OxyClean did have the fastest lap. Now it goes to Kirishima. 2:12.0. And look at Beijing Beef trying to send it on the inside. The 60's gonna have to work hard for that. It's gonna be a close side by side down into turn 3. Saul Goodman gets a good entrance, but how about the exit? Side by side down the straightaway. Max Cold just there. Spring Roll falling a bit behind Phil Slow. As now Beijing Beef gonna try and pass his teammate. After he gets by the 60, he's gonna get by his teammate. He's battling for a championship, but Beijing Beef is also there, trying to go for the championship, and now Saul Goodman is in trouble. Fell down to 5th. Not what he wanted. I'll tell you that. Beijing Beef up 5 spots since the start. Just under 2 seconds between him and Phil Slow. They're gonna be battling pretty soon. Now Max Cold chasing down Spring Roll. The 51 just stays behind, couldn't get a pass done, as it's a big single file snake all the way down to 14th. It goes from about 3rd to 14th just in this one train. It's a big draft line. It's good when you can get a draft, but it's not good when the car in front of you also gets a draft and gets a little bit of help. 2:11.1 for Phil Slow. As now the spring speed car is back at it again, but they'll think otherwise as OxyClean. Trying to fight around Saul Goodman. Gonna try and take the position. You're on lap 4. OxyClean just can't get it done. And now he's gonna have to defend from Chris, who's down 4 spots since the start. As now the 99 and the 2 battling side by side. 2 got a good exit and drafted well, but couldn't catch. As now Max Cold is right there. But now he's gonna have to defend from the 60. Seems like in these draft lines, draft trains, whatever, if you didn't get the pass done, you're gonna have to be fighting for your life. As now the 60 gonna try and hold off OxyClean, as OxyClean will just fall back into line. There's your track map. You can see all the cars compacted together. As now they're battling again. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Spring Roll just ahead again, traded positions. So now Chris is trying to fight off the 84 in the background, but it seems like that was too little too late. Chris back into 8th spot while Spring Roll moves back into 2nd, while Phil Slow is now up by 3 seconds. No passes right up here, but over here we got some battling. It seems like Saul Goodman did get around Max Cold at some point. As now OxyClean gonna try and battle with this 51, gonna try and get around, while up at the front for 2nd, it's heating up again. These two keep trading places. And can't get by each other. As now Chris falls back to 9th. After getting passed by David Bialois, as we see OxyClean and Max Cold battling pretty well. The 99 just still trying to find a way to get around Spring Roll, as the gap is now 4 seconds, as Saul Goodman went a little wide. Phil Slow driving away, as you see Spring Roll and Beijing Beef in the back. There's now Beijing Beef. Gotta get a good run through this final turn. Gotta try and catch up to him, but doesn't look like it was that great. There's gonna be in a little bit of a hole as we go up. But he is drafted, he is caught up. If he can just outbrake his teammate, he can move up. As he tries to outbrake him, but spring roll gets right in the way. That was very risky, because I don't think it would be appreciated if both of the spring speed cars got taken out. As spring roll locked up pretty badly. As now back into probably the best passing spot. Let's see what happens. Side by side, Beijing Beef just ahead. And now they draw about even. Is it going to be the 99 on the outside, going the long way around and makes it work? Back here in the back, Chad Broski trying to pass OxyClean for 6th. This is one of the closest battles on track as of now, but again, big, long train of cars. From what I saw, it went all the way back to 15th. Some cars up here escaped a little bit. As no, it looks like it goes all the way back to about 17th or 18th. Well, really it goes down to 16th. As now, Chad Broski setting up a pass. Gonna try and go the long way around. Going the long way around is really the motto of Road America. Is the 60 gonna be able to pass soon on this 99? Sorry, 2. Saul Goodman gonna not really be in the draft. He's about next to him and is losing speed. I don't know why he doesn't just tuck back in behind. But that definitely lost him some crucial ground that he could have definitely gained. Four and a half seconds is the gap between Phil Slow and Beijing Beef as we're getting close to halfway point. As now, Saul Goodman, let's see if he can go the long way around. As spring roll breaks way late, and that's going to make him go wide. And he is going to lose third, and he's out of the podium. And now Max Cold's definitely going to try and be there to get 4th. Biggest mover of this race, Gus Fring up. It says 7, but it's up 6. John Panini also up 6. So they've moved up some spots. Gus Fring not really moving up at the speed we thought he would be able to, especially with all these passing opportunities. For a while, I saw he was behind the 17. It's not really that great of a look, as now Max Cold gonna be able to get that draft. Gonna have to try and send it. Spring roll has pretty much mastered the art of off-roading, as Eliza Doe, talk about off-roading. I didn't even mean to say off-roading, I meant to say late braking, as we actually have another incident. Tetsu in the wall. That's one of your major championship contenders. Didn't have a good day and just went wide and buried it into the barrier, as Saul Goodman set the fastest lap. And now that's beaten by Chad Broski. They're now starting to reel in Phil Slow, but not real quickly. And now we have another off track. David Bialois, but he recovers it, but falls all the way down to 11th. He's having a pretty good day up to that point. And now we have another off track. This time it is Jacques Crescent. Apparently went off at the same spot, but he got it going again as Saul Goodman trying to make a pass around Beijing Beef, but that ain't gonna work. Five seconds is now the gap. The more they battle, the more Phil Slow gets away. Phil Slow won here in the endurance challenge back in about late September, early October. I'm not quite sure. But he definitely has prior knowledge of this track. I think the only other guys that do are Spring Roll and Spencer Alfredo. So I guess that makes sense on why they're faster. Oh, and also Mahavir Raghunathan, but it really doesn't seem like he learned too much. Well, he was actually battling up at about 20th earlier, which is probably the best he's done on a road course so far this season. Saul Goodman right behind, about 4 attempts, but wasn't too quick through that turn. He's got to try and draft. Don't step out of line until the last second, so you can get the maximum amount of speed with the draft as you can. Now here they go. Beijing Beef outbreaks him and just gets ahead once again. Now we see back here, Spring Roll under threat of getting past while OxyClean. Gotta try and go around Chad Broski and makes it work. Chad Broski definitely gotta try and fight that. He's gonna be trying to trap OxyClean. Gonna go way to the inside as we got big long draft chain. From there it looks like it goes all the way back to 17th as Furry wide at one point. As between Espinel, Alfredo, and Bialois. Espinel trying to get a top 10 here. Spencer Alfredo not gonna let that happen. Goodman gets a good run through the carousel. Now he's gonna be right behind him. Through the kink. Don't get off the gas. Just keep your foot in it. And now draft. And he's gonna try the long way around. We haven't really seen it work at this turn just yet, as Beijing Beef still remains ahead. The Spring Roll makes a pass on Max Cold to get 4th place back, but I'd definitely say that is not safe or secure. 6 seconds now the gap between Beijing Beef and Phil Slow. As now Saul Goodman still just can't really seem to get by this car. Despite I think the 60 is definitely faster. Just can't seem to get it done. Gonna have to try down here. See how this will work. As we have a car off track, we're gonna have to check that soon as missing sock, but he comes back on track, so never mind. As Saul Goodman just got side by side, as now he's gonna be side by side exiting. Is there enough room? Yes, there is just enough room on the track to be able to go side by side still. And he's gonna try and pass through tricky parts of this circuit. They're still side by side, but Saul Goodman just cleared Beijing Beef, but Beijing Beef not done yet, I assume. Seems like that's all we got. Let's see how Beijing Beef's gonna do down here. And just ahead, gonna outbrake him and go the long way around. Here at turn 12 in Canada corner. It just makes it work. As we got the 18 off track into the wall. I assume that's what happened with Tetsu Tetsu since it's basically in the same spot. So we don't really need to watch the replay. But that gotta suck for him. He was actually starting to do pretty good this season. But he'll fall behind. As now the 60 should probably fall behind the 99. But isn't gonna do that, especially because he's gaining ground now. As now Beijing Beef goes off track. But's gonna hold on to it, comes back right in front of the 87 of OxyClean. That was definitely a code ground moment. But now OxyClean gonna pull side by side and just edges ahead. OxyClean now into the podium places as Beijing Beef is now out of the podium places. One minor mistake. Now he's down, but that really gives Saul Goodman the chance to try and catch up. But I think there's just not enough time. Still got about a little less than 7 laps to go. Spring roll back in 6th. Gonna try and get around Chad Broski. See how this goes. As they both break late, and the 84 will go into the wall. And he is definitely buried. That's the third car we've seen wreck there. And this time it's Chad Broski, one of your highest placing, well, one of your higher placing cars this race. This Beijing Beef already trying to attack back on OxyClean, trying to get back onto the podium. How will this go? It doesn't really happen. So the 99 remains behind. We're definitely still going to be seeing some battling as now we head down towards turn 5. Beijing Beef gonna try and outbreak him, but too far back to be able to make a dive bomb move. About 4 seconds back from the 60, but 14 seconds back from Phil Slow. As now, Spring Roll is here. Gonna be getting ready to try and make a pass. Gonna see if he can get around his teammate. Beijing Beef, no doubt at this rate, will probably pass Chris on points. Move up into second. His missing sock has gone off track. But holds on to it and gets it going again. That's right in front of the carousel. He's down 18th. I don't think he lost any spots because of that. He's got a big gap behind him. So he was able to make that mistake and still hold on to it. The 99 and the 2 battle. As Phil Slow has come in for his pit stop, we're gonna have to see how these go. I almost forgot about these. I think if his pit stop goes decently, as Missing Sock seems to be struggling with tires as he went off track. as Jacques Croissant also went off track in the same spot. So a lot of cars seem to be struggling with tires. Nobody, it seems like Spencer Alfredo is gonna stay out and go ahead. So he'll be in front. Go see if going longer works. He was about 8th or 9th before the pit stop. Seems like Phil Slow gets out as Jacques Croissant stays on track for some reason after his tires are basically screaming for help. So it's about a 9-second gap behind Phil Slow to Saul Goodman. He's got fresh tires. He just can't make a mistake now. As Jacques Croissant gonna try and go by Phil Slow, I wouldn't even try and battle this. Just make sure you still got a good gap behind you. That's about 10 seconds. That's definitely pretty good. It seems like Beijing Beef gained some time on OxyClean. So now it's pretty close here. No, it actually seems like you may have lost a little bit of time. I don't know. I wasn't really paying too much attention. Goes a little bit wide. Spencer Alfredo will probably lead this lap by the end of it. Springle lost some track position there. Lost out to the 51. Currently down in 8th, but realistically is 6th. Which is still not really where he would want to be. Spencer Alfredo now comes into the pits. Wonder who will lead this lap, Spencer Alfredo or Phil Slow. But it seems like it'll be Spencer Alfredo. Unless his pit boxes. No, he led the lap. As Max Gold has gone off track and into the wall. That's some tire damage. Oh, he just barely grazed it, but that was a big enough hit. And that's going to take him out of the race. That was it's a good race for him. And up until that point, that is another one of your major championship contenders taken out. Spencer Alfredo going to be leaving the pits and is actually going to gain a lot of spots. So it seems like staying out later was definitely the play call, as now he's going to be in 3rd place. Spencer Alfredo leapfrogs so many cars just by going longer. That was a very good call for the magenta trees. Or is it magenta softies? I always keep forgetting the name. Now he's gonna maybe lose out to OxyClean. Gonna have to try and outbrake him. OxyClean just slips by into 3rd. That was definitely really good of the team to quickly get up there. Let's see who your fastest pit stop goes to. Fastest pit stop. I see a 7.1 for Sussus Amogus in 7th. So it's really good there. As now Beijing Beef just absolutely blows by the 77. And I guess if it works, OxyClean's gonna try and make some ground there. Slowest pit stop, 10-second from Chris. It is just not really being that great of a race for Chris. Sussus Amogus now gonna try and move up into 6th. The 32 has not really had that great of a season. Pretty far down in points. I think outside the top 20. And there's only been 25 cars as Chris almost tried to make a move. Chris got to get by the 32 and then got to get by the 2. Needs to try and cut into the point gap. You definitely not want to lose the spot to the 20 there in 9th of May Borowski, as now you go up the straightaway. Samogus gonna try and set it up, but Chris is also gonna try and set this one up. Who's gonna go? As Mahavir Raghunathan has spun around, but gets it going again. As OxyClean is now trying to battle Saul Goodman for second. By the way, Chris stayed behind Samogus. There's no pass there. OxyClean did have a pass, moves up into second. And now these two are going to be battling for second. I think unless Phil Slow messes up, this is pretty good for these guys. Ew, sorry, that was disgusting. I'm very sorry about that. As Spencer Alfredo has gone off track. Hold on to it. As he stays in 5th, but he's got Samogus right behind him. He's got to try and hold off the 32. And now it's going to be a train down here as Saul Goodman trying to make a move on the 87. Gonna go long. Is it gonna work? It doesn't look like it will just yet. He's got another chance down the straightaway. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Who will get second? OxyClean looking for some redemption. The last couple races have been really bad for him. Saul Goodman just wants to try and get into the championship battle, so both of these guys have some really good incentive to try and go for it. Put as much of it on the line as they can. It's gonna be pretty close, but the 60 gets to go around the outside and makes it work. Saul Goodman up into second. Locks up the brakes a little, but OxyClean, will he be able to track him back down? It's now side by side. But OxyClean now moves into second. I think these guys are going to be trading spots all throughout the rest of the race, which is really only about a lap and a half now at this point. Saul Goodman, it looked like he was trying to prepare a lunge. That didn't really seem, he didn't really seem to go through with it. Because now, here we go down towards Canada Corner. How are these guys going to do? It's gonna be close. Saul Goodman just has to back out of it. It's now Phil Slow coming up the hill to take the white flag. You just gotta hold on for one more lap. Definitely, absolutely dominated this race, but can he hold on for just one more lap? And can the 87 hold on to second for one more lap? OxyClean. It has been an awful season, especially since about the Red Bull Ring. The races have just not been there. So he's just got to make it 14 more turns. 3 more straights, but he got the main part of one of the straights out. He's got to get this turn good. But it seems like Saul Goodman just closed the gap down, but got a pretty bad exit. So now here we go. And it's going to be side by side. Who can outbrake the other? And it seems like Saul Goodman can just do it. But he goes wide. And he's into the gravel. He makes a mistake. He'll fall down to third. I saw a good lockup from OxyClean. But now we turn towards Phil Slow. Going through the carousel one final time. It has been an absolutely dominant race where Phil Slow led every lap except for one, and the only other one was by his teammate Spencer Alfredo, who's also getting a good result today. As Gus Fring has gone off track, got sorted out. I think he got inside the top 10, but now just dropped out. Yes, Gus Fring climbed his way to the top 10, but he's up 13 spots, so he is the biggest mover anyway. But Phil Slow comes out of turn 14, and it's going to be win number 2 of the season. This is definitely going to help him out in the championship hunt as he wins here at Road America. Just absolutely nailed it today. OxyClean comes up the hill, gained 3 spots. He'll finish second, ties his season best. He hasn't been here in second since Imola. Saul Goodman threw away a second by going into the gravel at turn 5, but still holds on to a podium. Biggest mover of today, Gus Fring, up 14 spots. Now that is just incredible. As now Phil Slow cooling down. A good race for his team. Overall, a first and a fifth. I think that's the best out of any team this race. They'll earn the most points this race. Still waiting on some cars to cross in the back so we can see the race results. We're still waiting on the 51 and the 15. But OxyClean second, Saul Goodman third, Beijing B fourth, and then Spencer Alfredo rounds out your top 5 and 5th. As now we take a look at your race results to see who won. Well, we know who won, but if you've already forgot, there you go. That was a big lockup from Max Cold. Phil Slow absolutely dominated this race, getting his second win of the season. First win since Barber, which I think was race 4? 3 or 4. OxyClean in second, Saul Goodman third, Beijing Beef in fourth. Spencer Alfredo, Phil Slow's teammate, will finish fifth. Sussus Amogus in sixth. Spring Roll in seventh. Eighth is Chris. Ninth is May Borowski. 10th is Rajiro Espinel. 11th, David Bialois. 12th, Gus Fring. 13th is Karishima. 14th, Wine Silly Man. 15th was John Panini. 16th, The Father. 17th, Missing Sock. 18th, The Sun. And now we go to the area of shame. 19th, Jacques Croissant. 20th, Mahavir Raghunathan, which I think is his best road course race of the season so far. I mean, I think he only had one incident, and that was that one spin. And he was actually up in about this spot before everyone started crashing. Chad Broski, 21st. Could have been a top 5 but just didn't come together in the end. Tetu Tetu definitely going to be hurt in the points. Same with Sebastio. Max Cold definitely threw away a top 5. He'll finish 24th. And Eliza Doe threw away what could have been a win. She will finish in 25th. So the American Grand Prix has been concluded, if you did not tell already. Um, it was another good race, although the front split away really early on. The rest of the field was very close together, and we saw some great racing. Next race will be at the Hungaro Ring, whatever. Um, I'm a little bit behind on uploads. I still don't think I've uploaded the Indy race, which I would have filmed about 2 weeks ago today. I filmed that one on Christmas Eve, and it is now January 7th as of recording this, so I'll probably need to upload them tonight. But yeah, it was another great race. I'll see you guys at Hungary. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.